With some help from a friend, I tore into my Street Glide, got past the computer, and down to the battery. That was part of looking at the tender and hooking up the lithium ion battery to it. It's funny how small things can seem very daunting, and then after we get through them, we feel very accomplished. I have a strap set up that I like a little bit better now. I've been taking off pieces of the bike. I brought the bike down because I'm gonna take off the front cowl, probably strip out the headlight and get the tool bag off. I think I'm gonna tear it down to the bare bones, actually. And as I mentioned, we got a new tank coming, so I'm gonna have to fit that anyway. I could probably use some time in the garage just to clean things up. It is a mess, and while I'm talking about that, there's kind of an important thing I can speak to with regard to a guy's garage. And that is, if you ever are invited over into a man's garage, just realize that you've been invited into one of their sacred places. And for me, there are some interesting little quirks that I have. One of them being when I'm working on something and like I just took apart those ratchet straps. I feel compelled to, when I open them, put them away in a way that's organized. They say, know yourself. And I know that if I don't do those things right away, that they'll make a mess on my bench or what have you. And over time, like you'll see in my garage now, things pile up and make a mess. And I hate the debt of realizing that I have to go through and clean things up. So, as a practice, I try not to be in an emergency mode, and I try to put things in their place right away. And that's a lesson that I owe my mother. But some of the guys, when they've come over, don't have the patience for that and want to get right into it. And it's hard to explain to them that no, everything needs to be put away, and part of the reason is because if I don't, there'll come a time where I want to do work and things will be such a mess that I have to spend my time cleaning instead of doing the work. My point in all of that is, if you're invited over to a friend's shop, you should be very cognizant of the basic rules for the house and respect them. Because, truth be told, while that person may be calling over for help, it is still their escape. And we should all do what we can to respect that. And additionally, I'm the kind of guy that likes help, but I don't want to be confused for that request for help as a request to do the work for me, because I have learned over time that if I do that, I don't learn how to do this myself, and that doesn't serve anybody any good. This cowl was kind of a cheapo from Amazon, and I do like the look of it. But I think actually, given that I managed to scuff it up and so forth, that I will make this a trophy and put it in the barn, mounted on one of the walls. That would look cool. I'm gonna leave the fender because I've got a saddlebag mount for hard mounts, and my original thought is, well, if this is a fairing, or if this is a famine bike, treating it like Mad Max would be kind of cool. And I've got some ammo crates that I can use for saddles, and I might do that. I love the idea of relocating the headlight down, so that might be a thing too. We'll just have to dig into it. Okay, we've got some of the lines, zip ties removed. I went over and took off the clutch grip. I'm going to take off this grip and control, and I'll after that I get to do brake bleeding, which is something I've seen on Blockhead, but I've never actually done myself, so that ought to be interesting. Well, after some camera mishaps as we traveled to other towns the last couple of days, I'll rehash that it's been unseasonably warm in Minnesota, and it's given me an opportunity to get bikes out. Gonna do one last ride on Lucy before I put her away for the season. And we're off to my friend Jim and Andrea's house, who just captured a deer, shot a deer, and are processing it as we speak. And I thought they could use a cold beer. So here we go. Hi, Katie. Hi, Katie. Driven by a couple of quarries because my house is actually near a couple of quarries, few actually, and I think it's kind of neat to think about how you can take something that's rough from the ground and raw and be able to convert it to something that's more polished, usable. Horses. I made it over to Jim and Andrea's. It was good to see them. Talked a little bit about motorcycles and enjoyed a frosty beverage. I'm going to save my return trip footage because now it's getting cold enough that honestly I can't ride. So saving that for some of the upcoming videos seems like a good idea. And so this ends the chapter for this week, but I want to remind everyone, keep on keeping on, and remember to see the wonderful things that are around you every day.